Well, good morning, everyone. It's the 17th of September. It's a Saturday, and we're well and truly in Hobart now. In fact, we're out at Kingston Beach overlooking Blackman's Bay Beach, which is where we're at Blackman's Bay Beach overlooking Kingston Beach, which is where the film drop is. So I'll show you that at the end of this. I'll just quickly run it over and I'll show you what's going on. We're very lucky to be staying in an apartment courtesy of Sally and John here in Hobart. Another story is a GGR fan that was out with boats in 2018 and he's got another boat and he's here now and he's doing the Hobart and stuff, but very involved with GGR, so we're very grateful to be here. But anyway, a bit more on that later on. So lots going on the tracker for sure, and it was quite exciting to get back online again when I got off the plane and have a look at what was going on with Simon and Kirsten and Abolish and so on. In fact, everyone. So we'll start off down the back end, of course, as you know. In fact, we'll look at the tracker. That's self-explanatory, because you'll see. Well, first of all, Simon, 55 nautical miles in the last 24 hours, and Kirsten 162. So Kirsten's taken out over 100 miles on Simon. Same with Abolish. Abolish is on 169, so a little bit quicker than Kirsten. And Captain Goog, 136, which is quite respectable. Jeremy, 119, and then Ian Herbert-Jones, 80, and Elliot with his bent bowsprit, 109. Guy's not on the rankings anymore. Being Chichester, you're not in the rankings. You're still in the event, but that's as far as it goes. So, and then Arnaud's now the next one to drop off the game. So the others are officially out of the event. So, and Guy's fully expecting at this point in time to take off again on Monday when he hits the water, but let's wait and see how that evolves. So some movement at the front end of the fleet, but for now we'll start at the back end and have a look at what's happening there. Oh, thanks for Lutz yesterday. He's fantastic, but what he hasn't learned how to do is this. See that? Ooh, it's so exciting when you can stick your finger in there and point to things, and I'm really here. But anyway, we'll see what happens in the future. So yeah, that was all cool. At the back end, Elliot with his bowsprit. Now, there's a couple of things. In fact, I'll go back just to explain this. With his current situation, he's not in any distress, or he's not really concerned about trying to keep the mast up, things like that. He'll obviously be sailing conservatively, but he's got a few options. One is to slowly head north, okay, like a northerly direction as the conditions allow. As you go north, you actually hook up into these, effectively like a trade wind route across the top here of the usual sort of Indian Ocean high. Generally, there's something like this happening with an airflow. It comes down around the Roaring Forties along the bottom, comes up over the top, and you head over into Cape Town. In fact, it's a well-known route. You know, I looked at this a long time ago. In 29, if you wanted to get across and up to Europe, you just sail across the Bight here, boom, boom, over to Fremantle, and then you just hook onto these trades. It's a beautiful run across the top here, and you work your way down into Cape Town. And in fact, that's what happened with Gregor's boat. If you remember what happened when he abandoned the boat, it was still adrift with a tracker, and I said, wow, there's going to be a certain point where it'll drift to the east, and then slowly it'll go up a little bit, hook onto the others, and come all the way back here. And that's exactly what happened. So there was a cut-off time to try and salvage the boat at that time, but it missed the window, and it came right across here, and it wasn't until it was back over this general area that it was lost. So Elliot could actually slowly make his way north and then hook up to that and come back up here to any number of opportunities for that. The other thing he could do is slowly head up in the northeast and keep going and try and get to Albany. Albany would be the best spot if he just wanted to do a quick repair and stay in the game as a Chichester. But then he's got to get through the gate before the end of the month. But that's quite possibly an option because they could have a huge fishing fleet there. They could get a whole new bowsprit made up and be waiting for him. So anyway, he's got some decisions to make on that, whether he's going to carry on this way or go up here and come back there, and he'll make those decisions later on. So for now, he's got a fair bit of breeze there. He's getting 30s, 35s, probably 4 or 5 metre seas, and he's making 6 knots, and he did pretty good yesterday, 100 knots, 100 nautical miles now. These are the new positions that have just popped up. So no stress there, and Ian Herbert-Jones is doing pretty well as well. You can't see that at the moment because he's quite small. So we'll just look at these two. So Ian Herbert-Jones on 5.7, and this system behind him is going to move forward. As you'd expect. They go through. It's literally within a day. So he's going to get a bit of breeze. This is later tonight, like late tonight, 2300 say. He's going to be getting 35, gusting 40 for a few hours, and then it'll just back off very quickly to a southerly wind, which he could just ride up, but then it's light. And then he's going to got this complication with the headwinds. So there's no easy options for him at the moment. It's not, you can see here, this is the back of this high pressure system here. It's the back edge, but that should just rotate as well, and then it gets a bit messy. He's still going to have contrary winds to be going north, but he'll be able to keep drifting across to the east and maybe even northeast to get up. That's the main thing now, is to get a little bit higher, because whatever usually happens, the winds are lighter up this end of the world and they're far more manageable. The same with the sea. If you look at the waves here, as you get up the top, they're starting to back off a little bit and make it a slightly easier ride. So no easy answers, but anyway, he'll work it out. And so going forward, there's not a lot happening back here of any consequence, but Ian will keep sailing. So Jeremy just went through this really strong northwesterly. Again, he would have had, it's forecasting at about 30, but means gusting to 40s, and a big sea, 5 metre sea easily, and that's now backing off. Interesting, he's still making that heading. I think remembering that this might not be totally correct, and it looks like because he's made this course, coming down in that direction, it looks something like it's probably still got a strong northwesterly, and he's heading down that way and making 4.4 knots. So this strong northerly is probably still over the top of him, but it's going to move very quickly. If we just pull it one day ahead, you'll see, boom, that was the remnants over there. It's now gone, and he's already gone through an area of slight pits, and then he's going to get this west nor'wester. So that'll keep him moving quite comfortably. That's the 18th. And then it turns into a westerly and just holds off nicely that's the 18th tomorrow night. The next day should be about the same, and then it'll just get it set up for a light nor'westerly after that. So again, for Jeremy, some reasonable sailing, but nothing to be concerned about. Now here's the fun part. You can follow what happens to Goog. He's off the edge of the world. He can dip south as far as he wants. Got nice sailing conditions there, doing 7 knots, so he's probably got everything up and enjoying the ride. So he'll be happy with that. That's for sure. Abelish is currently making 7.4 knots. He's got a big smile. Kirsten's 7.1. So good to see Abelish making better than Kirsten, because usually it's the other way around. So that's cool. And Simon is going really well at going nowhere, doing 2 knots. He was doing 1 point something before in the previous 4 hours. So completely trapped in the centre of this high, which we predicted a few days ago. So the forecast looks like it's being a little bit correct. And the interesting news is, of course, if you heard Lutz yesterday, Kirsten's reporting that she did get a weather fax, so she's got the key to where this high pressure system is, and she got the word forecast from Australia as well. So she's obviously working out a game plan. I think you might see her still continue down in this direction. She can follow that wind strength based on watching her barometer. If the barometer, if she goes to port going too far, the barometer will start to rise, and she doesn't want to do that, because she knows as it's rising, she's getting more to the centre of the high, and it'll be getting less and less wind. If the barometer is dropping, then it's going away from it, which is sort of okay, but it's not so good, because here's the mark is in a northeasterly direction. So she wants to hold that contour and hold that breeze all the way around. So she'll be sailing to her barometer at the moment, just trying to keep it on that same thing. If it goes up, she's got to go to starboard. If it goes down, she's got to go to port. And so that'll give her a course as it's going through. And the way that stacks up in numbers is really fascinating to watch. And I'll show you why. You should have a reasonable go on that. I'll come back and then we'll toggle it through and talk about what potentially could happen here that could see Kirsten a day behind Simon very soon in real terms. So that's the best case scenario for Simon. For Kirsten, worst case scenario for Simon, of course, and it may not play out that way. Depends what the forecast looks like. But anyway, I'm toggling this through now every hour, and if you watch Simon, in fact, you can all see this. That generally the situation is there's a high pressure system here, wind going around counterclockwise, and there's the centre of it. So I'm going to build that up a little bit bigger, and move it. Abelish will come along for a similar scenario. What's happened to Kirsten? If Abelish is lucky, it'll happen to him as well. So there's Hobart. There's Simon sitting in the middle of it. And I will just toggle this through every hour. And so this is coming through until tonight, about 9 o'clock tonight, rolled over at midnight. So we're now into the next day, and you'll see Simon, he's going nowhere. He's still doing 2 knots, okay? And Kirsten still doing 7 knots. So now Simon's got light headwinds directly on the nose. So he'll probably be holding on port tack because he won't want to go on, starboard tack, which is out in that direction. He with the wind on the starboard side, he doesn't necessarily want to tack over the other way straight away because there's less wind below him, and he'll know that. So this is now coming through till tomorrow night, and he's still got a problem because now he's got light winds and they're on the nose. So, and all this time, Kirsten's still sailing, right? She's still sailing down here. If she's playing the game plan right, she'll still be doing 6s and 7s all the way through. So we'll go forward 2 days. So this is tomorrow night. Okay, so that's now going into the 19th. All right, so we'll go till. Actually, I wonder. I got to work this out. No, that's right. So we'll go through till. This is near enough to 2 days from now. So 2 days from now, what's happened is this centre, the high is now tightened up a little bit. So 2 days from now, Kirsten's done it over 300 miles for sure in her course. So 300 miles. She's going to be around about here somewhere, and that's 350. So let's say about here. Okay, so she's going to be about there, and she's got to come up here to Hobart. So this is 2 days away. So just remember that, right? She's just above this speed thing for the video player, right? That's her position. So Simon in 2 days will have done around less than 100 miles. Now here's the trick. He will have tacked at one point, right? And so he would have gone forward a little bit, and then he would have tacked down. He would have come across, as soon as the wind swung this direction, he would have gone on to port tack on the other side, and he will have come down a little bit. So I reckon 2 days from now, Simon's probably only going to be, where we go, he's going to be around about here somewhere. And that would give him a net total of probably even less than that. So he's going to be, my guess is about here, and 2 days from now, and Kirsten's going to be about here. So 160 mile split, right? But now they're both going in the same direction. And as this thing turns, Kirsten's going to have a slightly favourable wind slant on the whole thing. So I hope that makes sense to you. It's going to get very interesting in 2 days' time to see where they are. So I'll just now, if that toggles through again, that's moving. So what's happening here now, you see it's moving very quickly to the east, which means both of them are now going to be in this headwind, okay, trying to get to Tassie. So when Simon's sort of here somewhere, Kirsten's going to be down here somewhere, but only like a day ahead, a day behind in distance, 150 miles. But they're going to windward, so they're not going to get 150 miles in a day. Kirsten's going to be tacking as well. And if we keep toggling that through, so this is now on the 20th. Simon will be getting close, but it's headwinds. We go into the 20. We're still on the 20th, the morning of the 20th. Normally I would have said Simon would have been there, but so you got headwinds coming down again. So they're going to both be tacking. So it's a slow way to get there. So that 150 mile split, or 160 mile split, or something like that. Normally you'd say that's a day if they're both running downwind, but that's not going to be the case. They're going to be going to windward. And so that could be 2 days of vector made good. They're going to tack this way, tack that way. So it's going to be very complicated the next few days. But I think Simon may not get here now until we're on the 17, 18, 19, 20, 2021. It's a bit hard to say, but it could be as far out as 21 yet. And Kirsten will be right on his hammer. Abelish, I think, will close the gap a bit with Kirsten, because Kirsten will come into the headwinds sooner than Abelish. So Abelish will probably close it up a little bit as well. And Captain Goog's going to be enjoying the ride, because we didn't really show what's going to happen here. He's going to get a big kick up from behind. So while these guys are fighting out for strategic positions, Goog's going to be roaring along, and he's going to be enjoying this ride here. That's a strong northwesterly. He'll be just riding that down and riding the waves and all the rest of it, having fun, keeping his distance with Avilish. He may even, I don't think he'll gain too much, but he'll hold his own and have a good ride. So everything for the next couple of days is all going to be about this and what's going to happen. But and of course, now that we've said that, I don't even want to talk about the fact that Kirsten has got 35-hour time penalty. Time compensation because of the issue with when she was helping Tapio, and the same with Abilene. She's got a bit of time as well. So something tells me that Simon's only stopped for about 90 minutes, and then he'll want to get on his way as soon as he gets this film drop done, because he's going to be looking over. He's going to be looking over his shoulder to see where Kirsten is. Anyway, I'll just show